The Armed Forces of Malta is the name given to the Combined Armed Services of Malta. The AFM is a brigade-sized organization consisting of a headquarters and 3 separate battalions, with minimal air and naval forces. Since Malta is guardian of the European Union's most southerly border, the AFM has an active role in border control. History. See King's Own Malta Regiment. In April 1800, after the siege, Thomas Graham raised the first official Maltese troops in the British Army, which became known as the Maltese Light Infantry. This battalion of men was disbanded in 1802 and succeeded by the Maltese Provincial Battalions, the Malta Coast Artillery and the Maltese Veterans. In 1815, Lieutenant Colonel Count Francis Rivarala was entrusted with the task of raising the Royal Malta Fencible Regiment following the disbandment of the Provincials, Veterans and Coast Artillery. The Royal Malta Fencible Regiment was converted to an artillery regiment in 1861, and became known as the Royal Malta Fencible Artillery. 28 years later, the worthy predecessors of the Armed Forces of Malta came into existence following the formation of the Royal Malta Artillery on March 23, 1889. The King's Own Malta Regiment. It was a territorial infantry regiment on the British Army colonial list prior to Malta's independence. It was formed in 1801 as the Regiment of Maltese Militia, existing only until the following year. It was reformed as the Maltese Militia by Sir Adrian Dingley in 1852 before disbanding again in 1857. It was raised again, this time as the Royal Malta Regiment of Militia. In 1889, this regiment was considered to be the successor to the Maltese Chasseurs of the early 19th century. The regiment was renamed the King's Own Royal Malta Regiment of Militia in 1903, and was disbanded in 1921. The regiment was raised for a 4th time in 1931 as the King's Own Malta Regiment, initially on the British establishment. In 1951 it was transferred to the Malta Territorial Force before becoming part of the Malta Land Force on Malta's independence in 1970. The regiment was disbanded in 1972. The AFM was formed upon Malta becoming a republic in 1974, when 1 Regiment Royal Malta Artillery was renamed as 1 Regiment AFM. This initially continued the artillery role, with 2 regiment formed as an engineers unit. In 1980, 1 regiment became a mixed unit, with infantry, aircraft and maritime responsibilities, the artillery element being transferred to 2 regiment. In 1992, there was a major reorganization, which led to the formation of 3 regiment and the current structure. KOMR Battle Honours 1800, Second World War, Malta 1940 to 1942. Organization. Headquarters, AFM. HQ. AFM is the main command center for the Armed Forces of Malta, and is divided into 4 main areas: Armed Personnel, Training Branch, Administration and AMP Personnel Branch, Logistics Branch, European Union Security Defense Policy Branch, Public Information Cell, Intelligence Cell, Legal Office, Audit and AMP Inspectorate Branch. 1st Battalion. AFM 1st Battalion is Malta's infantry unit, and has primary responsibility for the territorial defense of the country. It is divided into 3 rifle companies, a air support company and a headquarters company. Headquarters company provides combat service support to the other maneuver subunits of the unit. The ORBAT consists of a company headquarters Headquarters, Motor Transport Section, Pioneer Section, Regimental Police Section, Signals Section, Armory Section and Quartermaster Section. A company is responsible for airport security in the controlled access role by providing security guards at terminal access points, airfield, perimeter gates leading to restricted areas, and by conducting patrol in these said areas. They also enforce access passes and visitor movement control assisted with CCTV surveillance and is based at in Malta International Airport. B Company is responsible for security duties in various locations. It carries out land patrols and conducts vehicle checkpoints for traffic contraventions, illegal immigrants identification and apprehension, and anti-narcotics searches. It liaises very closely with the police in relation to many of their activities. In addition, it is an internal security company tasked with guarding high-profile, sensitive government establishments, and is based at Al-Far. C Company is the AFM's quick reaction force for high-risk operations both internally and as part of the European Union. It also serves as an infantry training unit for the AFM and is based at Al-Far. Air Defence and AMP Support Company provides Malta's primary air defence capability, armed with the Bofors 40mm L-70 and ZPU-4 14.5mm AAMG as well as 81mm mortars, Type 69 RPGs and Browning 50 HMGs for ground support. Its primary role is the light anti-aircraft defense of Lucca Airport and other vulnerable points on the Maltese islands. Gunnery training and battery shooting practices are regularly held at Pembroke Ranges, St. Andrews. This subunit runs a training school conducting junior non-commissioned officers leadership development courses, infantry trade courses, ceremonial saluting guns courses and AAMG courses. All the AFM ceremonial activities that involve the firing of the saluting guns are performed by this subunit. This subunit is also responsible for the administration and training of the Emergency Volunteer Reserve Force. Operation Atalanta EUTM Somalia. 3rd Battalion, AFM 3 Battalion is the AFM's main support unit and consists of 3 operational sections. Engineer Squadron. This provides the engineering support. Ammunition and Explosives Company is responsible for the storage and control of all types of ammunition held by the AFM as well as from the storage and control of blasting material used by civilian contractors for quarry blasting, etc. It includes the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Section, which is responsible for the detection and disposal of bombs and other explosive devices. It is also responsible for the inspection of mail at major post offices, inspection of baggage and aircraft at the airport, and security checks at the House of Representatives. Electrical and Mechanical Engineering Squadron is responsible for the repair and maintenance of all AFM vehicles, generators, plant and other service equipment. 4th Battalion, AFM established with the AFM Review of October 30, 2006. It includes HQ Company. The AFM Band takes part in official engagements performing at ceremonial parades, band displays and other band programs in Malta and Gozo. Besides their duties as bandsmen, the personnel also perform all military duties. Revenue Security Corps assists government in the prevention of smuggling, the protection of revenue and, when necessary, the investigation of contraventions relating to fiscal and monetary laws. The RSC is also responsible for the security and cash escort duties of commercial banks. C2S Company, responsible for the entire communication of the Armed Forces of Malta, operates the Operation Centre for S&AMP, internal and AMP, external communications, landlines, and AMP, IT services, training school, training and development. Initial training and career development. Air Wing. The Air Wing of the Armed Forces of Malta is the aerial component of the current in Maltese military. The Air Wing has responsibility for the security of Maltese airspace, conducts maritime patrol and search and rescue duties, and provides military assistance to other government departments of Malta, with Air Wing of Armed Forces of Malta being based at in Malta International Airport. Maritime Squadron. The Maritime Squadron of the Armed Forces of Malta is the naval component of the current in Maltese military. The Maritime Squadron has responsibility for the security of Maltese territorial waters, maritime surveillance and law enforcement, as well as search and rescue. It is based at a wharf in Floriana. It currently operates 10 patrol vessels and 6 other boats. Emergency Volunteer Reserve Force. In addition to the regular forces, there is also the Emergency Volunteer Reserve Force, which consists of part-time volunteers to support the regulars at Air Defence and AMP Support Company, 1 Regiment AFM. Italian Military Mission Malta. The presence of the Italian military mission in Malta has taken form in the shape of technical assistance spread over 3 periods of time. Firstly, between 1973 and 1979, then between 1981 and July 1988, and lastly between July 1988 to date. IMM personnel resources in Malta total to 12 officers and 35 NCOs from the 3 service branches of the Italian Armed Forces. It is also equipped with 2 AB-212 helicopters, 15 heavy plant vehicles, 60 light all-purpose utility vehicles, radio telecommunications, and weapons. Ranks of the AFM: enlisted rank gunner, lance bombardier, bombardier, sergeant, staff sergeant. Officer rank: second lieutenant, lieutenant, captain, major, lieutenant colonel, colonel, brigadier. Operations. Since Malta's entry in the European Union, the AFM has become more engaged in peacekeeping missions. The AFM has participated in 7 overseas operations. United Nations UNIFIL 2007. European Union EUMM Georgia since 2008, EUNAVFOR Atalanta since 2008, EUBAM Rafah since 2009, EUTM Somalia since 2010, EUFOR Libya 2011, EUNAVFOR since 2015. Equipment. Aircraft. CAFM Aircraft. Maritime patrol vessels. CAFM Maritime patrol vessels. Vehicles. Small arms and light equipment. Uniform and personal equipment. The AFM wears a single cap badge, based on that of the Royal Malta Artillery, which consists of a gun, similar to that worn by the Royal Artillery but without the crown, on top of a Maltese cross, with the motto Tutela Bellici Virtutis underneath.